All right, shalom, shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. We're going to start off this lesson by giving all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Hashem, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and have taught us His word in truth and sincerity. And peace and mercy to the hopeful elect that are also pushing His word in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth, starting with the 144,000. And you little man and sisters that believe, peace and mercy to you and your household. So, in today's lesson, or today's class, lesson is going to be another news and prophecy, another edition of news and prophecy. And we're going to keep spamming news and prophecy because that's what it's all about, right? It's all about prophecy. If you're in the right frame of mind, you're looking to get up out of here.
Yep.
And that's what prophecy does. It allows us to know how close we are to the coming, the day of the Lord, where our Lord Yahushua will return to redeem His hopeful elect. Shalom. Yahweh Shem Shabbat. Shalom.
Shabbat.
Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. And Shalom, Shabbat Shalom to the brothers and sisters on the comment board as well. So, yeah, man. So we're as you see the title here for today's lesson, it says the stability of thy times. The stability of thy times. So, if you're familiar with the precept, then you know the precept starts with wisdom. That which is going to keep the elect stable is wisdom. And knowledge and faith. Ultimately, that goes without saying. So before I got a clip I want to get into, because this is news and prophecy. So let's start off. I want to start off with Isaiah 33:6, where the title of this lesson comes from, and then we'll get that news clip. So this is Isaiah 33:6. It says, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation, right? The strength of salvation. So what does that mean? That means the ability to continue on and finishing the race, right? Because in Jacob's troubles, there's going to be a lot of prophets and a lot of people, Israelites, that right now call upon the name of Yahushua, but they're going to, in Jacob's trouble, there's going to be a lot of Israelites and prophets that are not going to have the strength to finish the race, right? Because finishing the race is the only way for us to receive salvation. Okay, so it says, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord, Yahweh, is His treasure, right? And yeah, man, because the fear of the Lord, we know that's wisdom, but what's incorporated in wisdom is instruction. So right now, I don't want to say it like this, but basically, the Lord has it set up in a way where the prophets are out here, right, in the highways and byways and on the internet, these lessons, giving you this wisdom, right, giving you the correct understanding of the Lord's word. Now, these are all instructions, right? Everything that the prophets are teaching and prophesying or teaching to you are instructions, all right, of how to be, all right, and basically how to receive salvation, because we got the instructions in the scriptures. Jacob's trouble, man. All right, you're not going to have prophets there with you, all right, to hold your hand throughout Jacob's trouble, because the prophets themselves. All right, we're looking to be saved ourselves as well. Right? So you're gonna have to rely, and I've been saying this, repeatedly for the last couple of weeks, but that's just how the Spirit has me moving. Where we're gonna be out there in Jacob's trouble, okay, and all we're gonna have is our faith and our wisdom. That's it. right? And that faith and wisdom, all right, is going to allow the elect to receive divine instruction of what to do during those times, right? To lead them ultimately to, salvation. So let me get this in the NLT, and then I got one precept, and then make the clip out. Isaiah 33.
Right after you're done.
Isaiah 33 and 6, it says in NLT, in that day he will be your sure foundation, providing a rich store of salvation. That's spiritual, man, because what's a store? A storehouse is where is basically your modern day storehouse is your bank. Okay? You go to work, you get paid, and you put your money, they deposit your money into your bank, right? So that's your storehouse today. So basically, the Lord has provisions already stored up for the hopeful elect, right? To keep them going until that time of testing, right? Which is the hour of temptation. Because when you think about the elect getting beamed up from the climax of Jacob's trouble up until the very moment the elect either die for the truth or they get beamed up in the chariots, they're gonna have to eat and drink, right? They're not gonna go without eating and drinking throughout within all that time and just get beamed up. So that shows you right there, if you have spiritual insight, that shows you right there that the Lord is going to feed his elect, and he's going to. Okay, so it says, in that day he will be your sure foundation, providing a rich store of salvation, right? And those are moments, right, all the way up until the point that we are actually being done. Wisdom and knowledge, the fear of the Lord will be your treasure. That's right, the instructions, the divine instructions that the elect are going to receive in the time of Jacob's trouble, at the height of Jacob's trouble. And that's a blessing. And that's a blessing that only the elect right now can see. And take this in. Only the elect can see this blessing, all right? And believe in this blessing. And the only way they're able to see it is through faith. So how much more when it actually starts to play out in Jacob's trouble? You see what I'm saying? We are relying on faith. We are relying on the words of Yahweh Bashim El Shai, that if we stay consistent and on fire for his word in teaching it and prophesying, that he's gonna keep us in Jacob's trouble. So go ahead, Ashar. You say you had a precept?
Yeah, Khan. I feel like going into wisdom. This is Wisdom of Solomon 7 and 24.
Okay.
And it reads, for wisdom, for wisdom is more moved than any motion. She passes and goes through all things by reason of her pureness. For she is the breath of the power of Yahweh and a pure influence flowing from the glory of the Almighty. Therefore, cannot defile things flow into her.
Beautiful. The breath. Yeah, beautiful.
And yeah, that's why you're seeing that a lot of, it says that no, what does it say? It say that therefore can no undefiled thing fall into her. So, you're seeing a lot of these prophets, which are false prophets, they're getting rooted out, sifted out, because you know what? They can't abide, right? They can't abide in the truth. And they're not abiding in the truth, because the truth, all right, like the brother just read here, the truth is a pure influence. It's a pure influence.
So let me jump to chapter 8 and 25, because it links together.
Okay.
If riches be a possession to be desired in this life, what is a richer than wisdom that worketh all things?
Khan, that's right. Working all things, man.
That was it on that.
I wanted to jump on this beautiful word, man, stability.
Okay.
Been holding it. All right. So it says that the
Go ahead.
precept that came out is wisdom is stability, correct? Right? Did I? Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability. So it's telling us that wisdom is a stability. So I have the word here as a noun. All right. So I'm going to read it in the etymology. All right. Just to prove for those who are listening out there that this stability goes back to wisdom, right? And who it is. And the brother just read a powerful precept that talks about the breath and the influence. And the young elder mentioned you can't have this if you are defiled. I'm just roughly paraphrasing your words. If you're going to be in a defiled state,
Yeah.
meaning that, right? Sorry to say it differently from how you said it, brother, but
No,
simply
that's
put,
the point, man. Wisdom is a pure influence on a
pure
person.
influence.
If
Beautiful.
you're abstaining from, or if you're not abstaining from your lust, the lust of the flesh, wisdom is going to leave you. Simply put.
So it says stability of stability of persons or character, firmness of resolve, mental equilibrium, steadfastness, right? But firmness, solidity, stability, durability, and constancy. So
Right.
the only way you can have this is if wisdom is dealing with you. I just wanted to bring out those things, but it has more things. But what jumped out on me was stability of persons of character. So it's a character, it's an influence, and it goes back to our power, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, who is actual or one that's giving the stability. And the brother read that powerful precept that talks about the breath, the influence. Okay, so I'm going to go to, if you could go to Judith, the book of Judith, 11 and 21 is the precept. And that, just to bring it home there, because the brother mentioned it as well in wisdom.
Judith, what chapter?
The 11th chapter and the 21st verse. That's the point. Start at verse 20 just to bring the context, and then when folks go back to it, they can understand what was going on there. 20 and 21.
Okay, so this is Judith chapter 11, verse 20. The point's at 21. And it reads, Then her words pleased Olophanes and all his servants, and they marveled at her wisdom and said, This is not such a woman from one end of the earth to the other, both for beauty of face, wow, and wisdom of words.
All right. Simply put, just the influence that was on her. I just wanted to bring that out. Right. And then of course it's all spiritual. It's not only literal, excuse me, it's spiritual as well. Okay, in terms of the beauty of the face, right? And the wisdom of the words, right? Being the influences with the messenger. That's a point on that. Just wanted to emphasize the wisdom of words and how the whole package of wisdom, the influence, simply put, the breath, the influence, the inspiration. That's the point. Go ahead.
This is just a quick precept I want to get from the elder Jeremiah. This is Peter 2 and 12. Good precept, actually. It says here, but these are natural brute beasts, made to be taken and destroyed. You see?
Right.
Yo, the Lord has a lot of prophets. Listen, the Lord has more prophets set up for this right here, right? Set up to be natural brute beasts than he has set up to be the true prophets and the righteous prophets that actually fear him. Right? So it says, but these are natural brute beasts, made to be and destroyed. Speak evil of things that they understand not. And that's why the judgment for these Israelites that do this is going to be heavy, extremely heavy, because you're speaking evil of things that you don't understand. All right. It says, and shall utterly perish in their own corruption. And that's going to, again, we're going to see these things manifest in the height of Jacob's trouble.
That's right.
All right. Verse 14, it says, 2 Peter 2:14, having eyes full of adultery, right? Just like Esau. Okay, they want whatever they want whatever they want, and they don't care about how they get it. All right, it says, and that cannot cease from sin, beguiling unstable souls. Wow. And heart they have exercised with covetous practices. Yeah, because a lot of these prophets out here of Israel that have a big following, and whatnot, you know how covetous they had to be to get to that point?
Yep.
They had to be serious, like a lot of the prophets in Israel. I'm not going to name any names, but we got some prophets in Israel that are actually multi-millionaires, man.
Yep.
Prophets in Israel that are multi-millionaires, man.
Yep.
So you have to think to yourself, how did they get to that point? When you understand the context of the scriptures in terms of what life we would live, all right, when we decide to basically come into the truth. Look at the life of Yahweh Shai. Did he live the life of a multi-millionaire? No. In the spirit, he did. He's a multi-trillionaire in the spirit, right? But in the flesh, because the truth of the matter is that we have sinned and we've rebelled against the Heavenly Father times over and over and over again. So we have a punishment, all right, to endure. We have a punishment to endure. And those that endure the punishment with an upright integrity are those that the Most High is going to be looking upon. You see? So it says here, I'll finish it up. And heart they have exercised with covetous practices. Okay? So basically the things they do, right? Even when they teach, it would be all about money. Because what does Jake want to covet the most? Money and women.
Yep.
That's right.
Most money and women. Right.
Status.
So these exactly status, fame.
Yep.
So these prophets, man, all their practices would be towards gaining money, not actually edifying the hopeful elect. It says first children. Okay, so beautiful. So yeah, that's why wisdom cannot be in any of these men. All right, yeah, and that's right. That's right, Elder. It says grape, reincarnation, hell. Yep, all these things are false doctrines and false understandings, right? Because they get emotional about the grape thing. They don't believe in reincarnation, and then they teach hell.
Yep.
They teach the hell doctrine.
Madness.
And here we are coming around the corner of the height of Jacob's trouble, and this is anyways, man. I'll read one more precept. This is
quick.
Let me get this one real quick, and then you can get yours. First Peter, from prisons of hopeful elect for the elect. Shalom. First Peter 2:9. But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, and holy nation, a peculiar people, that ye should show forth the praises of him who hath called you out of darkness into this marvelous light. Yeah, that's right. And how do we do that? We do that by being consistent in teaching this word and pushing the truth out.
Done.
Go ahead, Ashar.
Yeah, because we're going into the word wisdom, and you need to be wise. You need to know how to apply it.
Yeah.
Ephesians 5:15. And it reads,
Con.
see then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as a wise. And in this time right now, you have to be wise how do you move around Isa and 2/3. Because most of them, their IQ level is low. You cannot get with Jake because he's not at your level. He won't understand how you talk to them or what you say because he just get confused. Either he gets emotional or he wants to fight you. It's one or the other.
Yep.
It says, verse 16, redeeming the time because the days are evil. And like the brother just mentioned it, evil times are coming. And it says wisdom and so like how does it go? Wisdom and knowledge should be established at hard times, right?
That's right.
God. It says, verse 17, wherefore be you not unwise, but understanding to what the will of the Lord Yahweh.
Yeah.
Right. I have a precept because this is powerful as well, right? Because exhortation and character perfection. This is what character perfection. This is what wisdom brings, man, for the elect. And it's not going. Definitely, the opposite of that is what was read in Peter's in terms of the destruction that comes when there's no wisdom. Okay, and the Lord is the one that decides that. So I have Wisdom of Solomon.
Hold on 1 second before you get that.
Oh, okay.
Before you get to Malak, let me just because I wanted to go into that word of redeeming real quick.
Strong's G 1805. Exagarazo.
All right, so now it says here, I'm gonna read the definition 2a, and it says here, to make wise, right? Redeeming the times for they are evil, right? To make wise and sacred use of every opportunity for doing good. You see, so if we know, here we are teaching that the Lord is going to bring a dreadful day upon the whole earth, Jacob's trouble, and knowing all this, the mindset that we're to have is to what? Take up of every opportunity to do good, which is really every moment that we are alive. Okay, so it says, so that zeal and well-doing are as it were the purchase money by which we make the time our own. You see, so the acts that we commit during this grace period that we're in, we're going to be we're going to be judged upon the acts that we partook in this grace period. And a lot of Israelites are going to be judged to death, and then a few Israelites are going to be judged to salvation. Okay, so it's almost like you're paying. It says purchase money, right? With purchase money, so our acts of service as a living sacrifice to Yahweh Shem Shai during this grace period is a way of us paying back, this debt that we owe. Now, we can't pay this debt back on our own. Of course not. We're paying this debt back under and through Yahweh Shai, because he already paid the debt. He already paid it off. We just have to do our part. Go ahead.
Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability. That's how it's paid off by him giving us that influence, which is wisdom and stability. Beautiful. You addressed it. You know what? Go to Wisdom of Solomon 3 and 15, and this will go into how wisdom work with the elect. And then after that, just to hit the point home on what Brother Shar mentioned and the elder as well in regards to Peter's, okay, how wisdom is not going to be with those who are with strange fire. So go
So what's
to
the
we
precept?
yeah, Slovakia, go to Wisdom 3 and 15 first to address what you just mentioned. Straight to the point. 3 and 15 now. Young elder,
All right.
right?
Wisdom of Solomon 3 and 15, and it reads, for glorious is the fruit of good labors, and the root of wisdom shall never fall away. Beautiful.
All right. Simply put, man.
Yep.
Now
And the
here,
other one?
yeah, and go straight to this one if you could address that issue. So one second there. Wisdom of Solomon 1 and start at 4. Sorry, 3. And the point is actually coming down to verse 6.
Okay. So Wisdom of
Yep.
Solomon, chapter 1 and 3, and it reads, for forward thoughts separate from Yahweh, and his power, when it is tried, reproveth the unwise. For into a malicious soul wisdom shall not enter, nor dwell in the body that is subject unto sin.
All
And
right.
this is a deep saying. Go ahead.
Yeah. If a brother could pull up the word malicious, because it's a loaded thing. When you brothers pull it up, the word malicious, because it's important, right? And we know what's going on within, right?
Um,
Go ahead. Just for the record, go ahead, buddy.
Malicious is from the etymology dictionary. Hostility, showing ill, well, spiteful, wicked, wicked, malicious. Yeah, that's pretty much unpleasant. Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say is that because it says, "For into a malicious soul wisdom shall not enter, nor dwell in the body that is subject unto sin." So one might say, "Well, isn't the body already subject to sin? So how is it that we're able to get this wisdom?" Well, one is mercy, and two, I should say one, Yahweh Shai died for us, so that we can get this wisdom via the Holy Spirit. But two, it says, nor dwell in the body that is subject to sin. So the body that's subject to sin is the body that's not resisting sin. That's the point.
That's willful sinning, presumptuous sinning, knowing that it's sin, and you keep doing it. That's dangerous.
Yeah, exactly. So so reason why I'm saying that is because we're all subject to sin, right? But few of us have this wisdom while being subject to sin. So what's the difference? The difference is the few that have the truth are constantly fighting against sin, right? They're constantly what's it called? Like you said, Ashi, like you said, Elder Malak, they're not willfully sinning. And if they are willfully sinning, they're repenting from that sin.
Beautiful, because it just says that. It just says that. Reprove it the unwise in verse 3.
Right.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So verse 5, it says here, for the Holy Spirit of discipline will flee deceit, remove from thoughts that are without understanding. Right. So what's the thought that's without understanding? Emotion.
Beautiful.
Right. We're gonna be going, like Jake is going through hell right now because of the curses. And I see it every time, man, within my own family, that they're going through hell, and the hell is worse because they don't have the understanding.
God.
You see what I'm saying? Right. So in Jacob's trouble, a lot of Israelites are going to be bugging out because they don't have any understanding of what's really going on. Right. They don't have any understanding. So it says, for the Holy Spirit of discipline will flee deceit and remove from thought that are without understanding, and will not abide when unrighteousness cometh in. Yep. And we're all, and not one of us are what's the word for that? Not one of us are exempt from this happening to us.
That's right.
You want me to read verse 6, right?
Yeah, verse 6 is tied all together. That's it.
So verse 6 it says, "For wisdom is a loving spirit."
Mhm.
Right? Wisdom is a spirit of obedience, right? And obedience is synonymous with discipline.
Mhm.
You see, so this for the Holy Spirit of discipline, which is the same spirit or the same wisdom or the same spirit that gives you the wisdom of a loving spirit, and will not acquit a blasphemer of his words. For Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, is witness of his reigns and a true beholder of his heart and a hearer of his tongue.
Great. That's it. Powerful book as well. But that's it. That's the point there.
All right, so let me get this clip now. It's a short clip. Just going into as you see here, it says UN declares war on dangerous conspiracy theorists who are threatening Agenda 2030. And this is all code talk for coming for the elect, starting with 144,000 that are pushing this truth on the forefront.
United Nations has declared war on conspiracy theories, describing the rise of conspiracy thinking as worrying and dangerous, while stating that conspiracy theories about Klaus Schwab's World Economic Forum must be scrubbed from the internet, and the perpetrators behind the conspiracies must be silenced. The UN also warns that George Soros, the Rothschilds, and the State of Israel must not be linked to what the globalists refer to as alleged conspiracies. Before we dive in, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and join the People's Voice Locals community for Exgrouped, and are now pursuing the same goals as the Third Reich, and committing the same crimes against humanity. Klaus Schwab's father was a high-ranking Nazi official, as were multiple members of European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen's family. And don't forget, George Soros is a literal Nazi collaborator. The global elite are now so arrogant they're not even trying to hide their tracks anymore. Klaus Schwab is on the record boasting about infiltrating the Canadian government. He wasn't joking. This week, the WF puppets in the Canadian Parliament took their masks off and gave a standing ovation to a confirmed Nazi SS soldier. Meanwhile, in the UK, the state has ordered the police to arresting citizens who get fact-checked on social media for the crime of spreading so-called conspiracy theories about the globalist elite.
You see? So they're already arresting people in the UK that are spreading what they deem, okay, what the WHO deems, what the WHO deems as conspiracy theorists. Now, when you go into the word conspiracy, I'm not going to look it up. You can look it up for yourself. All right. Con means with, spiracy means to breathe. So basically people who are on the same page, all right, that talk about the same thing. So it's a code word coming at the elect, because what are we? We're conspiracy, right? We breathe together. We breathe together through this Holy Spirit, and what are we breathing? Wisdom.
Wisdom.
Right? So, but this is not a theory. This is a fact. This is prophecy.
Never mind the fact that fact checkers are mostly untrained and unqualified hacks performing so-called fact checks from the comfort of their bedroom in between posting far left political.
Is it too fast for you, brothers? Or is it
No, it's good.
Okay, beautiful.
Content and personal blogs, and get in mind the fact that fact checkers are mostly untrained and unqualified hacks performing so-called fact checks from the comfort of their bedroom in between posting far left political content and personal blogs and getting high. Make no mistake, Klaus Schwab's order to world governments to accelerate Agenda 2030 and crack down on conspiracy theorists is being taken seriously in WF-infiltrated countries. During a UN meeting in New York City last week, Secretary General Antonio Guterres admitted that Agenda 2030 is under threat because the people of the world are rejecting it in droves. In other words, we are winning. The New World Order is failing, and the global elites are in a panic. So it's no surprise the UN is rolling out its most coercive.
These I don't even know what to call them, but they're funny because they really believe that they're winning because of the fact that these devils are complaining about this truth coming out. And this is why the Lord, when you go into the elect are hidden in plain sight. The men that are actually making this this devil sweat, the whole full elect, starting with the 144,000. Sorry, that's when I say men, the 144,000. Because they are the ones, they're the prophets of the Lord, and they're the ones that are teaching the truth on the forefront. Okay, and it's the power of the Lord through Yahushua that's doing it.
massive plan to date to control the thoughts of humanity and punish anybody who stands in their way. After this quick break, we will expose the UNNW.
Okay, so you see how hard they're coming down on the truth. So this is just prophecy. I got 2 precepts I'm going to go into. Of course, Amos chapter 8. All right, verse 10, and I'm going to read it in NLT. NLT, that thing, New Living Translation. So this is Amos chapter 8, verse 10. And I'm going to read down to 14. So it says, I will turn your celebrations into times of mourning, and your singing into weeping. You will wear funeral clothes and shave your heads to show your sorrow. And this is the custom that we would do, that we would keep, right? In the time of sorrow, despair, or sadness or whatnot, we would wear sackcloth. So when you fast forward to today's time, this is the spirit that's going to be upon the whole earth. All right, a spirit of weeping, right? Of funerals, right? So because there's going to be a lot of death. But you know, these bodies are, when I say funerals, it's not like these bodies are going to be buried at the time that they're being at the time of Jacob's trouble. All that's going to happen in the kingdom of heaven, because all these Edomites and these heathens are going to have to bury these bodies. They're going to have to clean up the earth. All right, so it says, and shave your heads to show your sorrow, as if your only son had died. How very bitter that day will be. Verse 11, it says, the time is surely coming, says the sovereign Lord Yahweh, when I will send a famine on the land, not a famine of bread or water, but of hearing the words of the Lord Yahweh. People will stagger from sea to sea and wander from border to border, searching for the word of the Lord Yahweh, but they will not find it. You know, a lot of Israelites are going to be like, yo, because once these prophecies, you know, start playing out extremely, you know, all of a sudden these jakes are going to have, you know, they're going to get their memory back, and they're going to remember everything that we said. You know, all of a sudden.
So like it.
Yeah, so just 2 more verses here. So verse 13, it says, beautiful girls and strong young men will grow faint in that day, thirsting for the Lord's word. Right? Because you know, that's what people are going to want to know. They're gonna want that divine instruction. What to do, you know? But that divine instruction is subject only to the hopeful elect. It says, and those who swear by the shameful idols of Samaria, who take oath in the name of the God of Dan, and make vows in the name of the God of Beersheba, they will all fall down, never to rise again. Now, real quick, I'm gonna get this in. Let me get the commentary on this. From time to time, I do bring this out because these Edomites, you know, they tell them themselves. So, anyhow, get it from. Oh yeah, right here. Okay. So verse 10 in the commentary says, man, rise up holy as a flood, the land will, as it were, be wholly turned into a flooding river. We go down here. About morning. Okay, Khan. So verse 11. Famine of hearing the words of the Lord Yahweh, a just retribution on those who now will not hear the Lord's prophets. They even try to drive them away So it's Jake has went further than just not trying to hear this word. They're trying to push the prophets from pushing the word, from teaching the word. They're trying to push the prophets from teaching the word. It says, nay, even they tried to drive them away, as Amaziah did, right? He did that to Amos. It says, real quick, also Amaziah said unto Amos, O thou seer, go flee thee away into the land of Judah and eat and there eat bread and prophesy there. So he wasn't trying to hear his prophecies, man. It says, they shall look in vain in their distress for divine counsel, such as the prophets now offer. Right now, the prophets are offering that divine counsel. Compare as to Jews' rejection of Messiah and their consequent rejection of him. Yep. Just like Israel rejected the Yahushua back then, they're constantly rejecting this word right now. It says, and their desire for Messiah too late.
Mm-hmm.
So the prodigal, when he had sojourned while in the far off country, began to be in want in the mighty famine which arose. It is remarkable that the Jews' religion is almost the only one that could be abolished against the will of the people themselves. Yeah, that's funny. It says, on account of its being dependent on a peculiar place, namely the temple, which is the temple today. That third temple is being established right now, right before your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and skip down real quick. It says, verse 12, shall wander from sea to sea. That is from the Dead Sea to the Mediterranean Sea, really from the whole earth. From east to west, from north to east, where we might expect the north to south. Yeah, that's it on that.
Beautiful. That word, excuse me, I just want to bring it out, Salakia, young elder, on that word wonder goes back to, because I have it here. Wander. Yeah. It says stagger. When you read it in the NIV, I think you read it. It uses it for stagger. So it says here real quick, it says, man, stagger as a drunken man.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So simply put, right, just like it says, there's other precepts that talk about this famine, how powerful it is. But the state of these people that wisdom is not going to be working with is a drunken state. There's no recover from this, because the Lord is the one who put this spirit on them.
Yeah, it's too late. It's too late.
Yeah.
Right now, it's time to be sober. And Jake's going to try to look to be sober when all hell's breaking loose.
That's right. Right. Also to stumble. Yeah. So yeah, but that's what it says when you go into etim for stagger, which goes back to wander. Wander from sea to sea. So all right. That's it. Just want to bring that word up.
Go ahead and show me. You say you had some?
Yeah, I got a quick percent going into wisdom. Ecclesiastes 2, and instead of 24.
Ecclesiastes?
Yes.
Right.
It's 4. There is nothing better for a man than that he should eat and drink, and that he should make his soul enjoy good in his labor. This so I saw that it was from the hand of Yahweh. For who can eat, or who else can hasten hereunto more than I? For Yahweh giveth to a man that is good in his sight wisdom and knowledge and joy, but to the sinner he giveth travail to gather and to heap up, that he may give to him that is a good before Yahweh, this is also his vanity and the extinction of the spirit. So you know, so like you need to know who are you listening out there, because there's other Hebrew Israelites teaching not according to the Bible, according to their own spirit, right? Instead, like the MOTB, they don't pushing that, right? They don't push that like GMS, like the apostles. Every day is making video the MOTB, right? And we know that it's gonna be established soon once Jesus starts setting up those stations.
Yep.
Beautiful.
That's
Yeah.
Con. All right, so I'm gonna play a little bit more in this clip here. Oh, you know what? Let me bring this out real quick. I have First Ezra, chapter 1 and 50. It says, "Nevertheless, I'll read it verbatim. The God of their fathers, Israel, sent by his messengers to call them back, because he spared them and his tabernacle also. But they had his messengers in derision, and looked when the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushai spake unto them, they made a sport of his prophets."
Right.
You know?
Them scoffers.
Khan, that's right.
Mhm.
So far forth that he, being wroth with his people for their great ungodliness, commanded the kings of the Chaldees to come up against them. And this is during the time of basically the Babylonian captivity, right before it. So, you know, the same thing is playing out today, where, you know, you have Israel. The Lord has sent prophets, messengers to Israel to warn them of what the Lord is getting ready to do. And what are they doing? They're making sports of the prophets, calling them BBIs, black Israelites. You know, so like, you know, all these things, all these words, the Most High is taking account of them. It says, so far that he, being wroth with his people for their great ungodliness, commanding the kings of Chaldees to come up against them, who slew their young men with the sword, yea, even within the compass of their holy temple, and spared neither young man nor maid, old man nor child among them. For he delivered all into their hands." And that's basically what's going to happen. The Most High, right, is gonna put a heavy spirit of death on Esau, more than he already has right now. He's gonna come in like a flood. He's gonna come in like a flood on you Jakes that reject this word, man.
That's right.
And you and your family and your children are all gonna die. That's just a straight message. Why? Because you rejected your power. You rejected your source.
Right.
That's right.
I have a precept.
Khan, go ahead.
2 Chronicles 36, verse 16.
Oh, beautiful precept. Yeah. 36?
Yeah.
You're good.
And it reads, "But they mocked the messengers of Yahweh and despised his words and misused his prophets." Right. And that's twofold. That goes into the 2/3, the rebellious house, just regular Jake out here scoffing. It also goes into these leaders of these other camps, you know, giving acronyms, bum camps, and all kind of shit. Right. Until the wrath of the Lord Yahweh arose against his people, till there was no remedy. Right. And once again, those scoffers, those same spirits are back. Right. And it's just a matter of time before the Lord gives a green light on the death angels and deals with them.
That's right.
Verse 17. "Therefore he brought upon them the king of the Chaldees." And this goes into the scripture you were just reading. Right. And once again, them same spirits are back. And the Lord's going to use Esau, who's a sword on the left-hand side, to carve out judgment.
That's right.
Who slew their young men with the...
Yeah, I said Chaldees represent the Babylonians. That actually goes into the Assyrians, if I'm not mistaken. because the Chaldees lived in that land of Ur, Mesopotamia, right around the Euphrates and the Tigris River there. So that's actually the Assyrians. The Assyrians come out of that area. Babylon is close, but the Assyrians come out of that area.
Khan.
Yeah, go ahead.
Chaldeans are known mainly for sorcery.
Yeah, they're witchcraft, yeah.
Right.
Who slew their young men with the sword in the house of their sanctuary, and had no compassion upon young man or maiden, old man, or him that stooped for age. He gave them all into his hand. Right? So the Lord's not going to care, man. You know, all ages, it doesn't matter. Babies suckling on breasts, hoary heads, they're all going to get it.
Khan.
Yeah, that's it on that.
They weren't exempt from judgment.
Right.
I have something real quick because it links really with that. Just one quick precept on that. Wisdom, back again. Wisdom 3:11, brother. Young elder, if you could get that. Wisdom 3:11, pull it up there.
All right, so this is Wisdom of Psalm chapter 3, verse 11, and it reads.
Start at verse 9. Start at verse 9 to 11, brother. Go ahead.
So it says, they that put their trust in him shall understand the truth, and such as be faithful in love shall abide with him. Right? Obedience. You know, you have faith in the divine instruction that's given to us.
God.
Shall abide with him, for grace and mercy is to his saints, and he hath care of his elect. But the ungodly shall be punished according to their own imagination, which have neglected the righteous and forsaken the Lord. And a lot of these Israelites, man, you have to know that they have ways, like in their minds, they're thinking of ways of how they can get rid of the prophets. How do we kill these guys? How do we get rid of them? Because remember, the same spirits that killed the prophets in times of old, and ultimately Yahushua, those same spirits are back here again today.
Yeah.
Right. So when it says, but the ungodly shall be punished according to their own imagination. So the ways that they think of taking out the prophets, they're going to be taken up by that way themselves.
Yeah.
Own imaginations.
That's right. Which have neglected the righteous and forsaken the Lord. For who has despised this wisdom? For who so despises wisdom and nurture? He is miserable. Their hope is vain, their labors unfruitful, and their works unprofitable.
God.
Yep.
Straightforward. Oh.
That goes into the brother from the elder from North Carolina. He made a video going into this Jake. I think he was called out by his work. How they figured out he was preaching whatever, and his work, right? So you need to circumspect how you talk to these people out there in the real world. Right? They could have, because like you just mentioned, they would have come against us.
Yeah.
Right?
That's right. So going on.
Manipulated behind the scenes by powerful forces with negative intent. Advantage of the massive discount. The UN wants you to know that events are not secretly manipulated behind the scenes by powerful forces with negative intent. And if you encounter anybody who thinks the global elite are conspiring to consolidate power and dictate global events, you must take action.
You see what he says? It says the UN doesn't want you to think that behind the scenes that everything's controlled by secret powers. Yeah, right? But that's what the scriptures tell us exactly is what's going on.
To get your free advantage of the massive discount. The UN wants you to know that events are not secretly manipulated behind the scenes by powerful forces with
See, the UN wants you to know that the events are not secretly manipulated behind the scenes by powerful forces, which they are. All right.
Intent. And if you encounter anybody who thinks the global elite are conspiring to consolidate power and dictate global events, you must take action. The United Nations has provided the public with a toolkit to pre-bunk and debunk anybody who dares to suggest that world governments are anything but completely honest, upstanding, and transparent. According to UNESCO, if you are certain that you've encountered a conspiracy theory on the internet, then you must react immediately and post a link to a fact-checking website. in the comments. UNESCO also provided advice for anybody who encounters a real-life conspiracy theorist in the flesh. According to the UN agency, you must not under any circumstances be lured into an argument with a conspiracy theorist. Any argument must be taken as proof that you are part of a conspiracy and reinforce that belief, and the conspiracy theorist will probably argue hard to defend their beliefs. Instead, you must show them empathy and avoid ridiculing them, and then you must report them to social media and contact your local national press council or press ombudsman. Make no mistake.
So a lot of us are going to be reported,
Mhm.
right? A lot of us are going to be reported by our own family members, man.
Yeah, yeah.
you know, you get your views on all your videos, right? We get views on all the videos that we do, but the majority of the people that watch our videos are the ones that are going to sell out Jake.
Mhm.
It's only the minority of the viewers are actually sincere in terms of believing Yahweh Bashem El Shai and in the words that the prophets are teaching, which is the words of the Lord.
Yeah.
The globalist elites are panicking. Remarkably, hidden in the fine print, UNESCO admit that conspiracy theories do exist. Under the heading, "What is a real conspiracy?" the United Nations bureaucrats explain that real conspiracies, large and small, do exist. But according to the UN, it's only a real conspiracy theory if it's unearthed by the mainstream media. They are
Well, I'll read it real quick. It says, "What is a conspiracy? Real conspiracies, large and small, do exist. They are more often centered on a single self-contained event or an individual, like an assassination or a coup d'etat. They are unearthed by whistleblowers and the media using verifiable facts and evidence."
more often centered on single self-contained events.
Well, basically us,
Mhm.
basically us,
Mhm.
and then other so-called truthers and whistleblowers and all that. They're all gonna fold under the pressure. They're all gonna fold.
Mhm.
Everything that they've been bringing out in terms of the who and the whiff and the top elites. They're gonna recant everything they said because they're gonna fold under that pressure.
Mhm.
Because they speak of things that they understand not.
Mhm.
They are unearthed by whistleblowers and the media using verifiable facts and evidence. There is just one problem with the UN's definition of a real conspiracy theory. The media has been fully bought and paid for by the elites, and it's the elites who are conspiring against the masses. Ever heard of Operation Mockingbird? In the 1960s, you would get called a conspiracy theorist if you dared to suggest that the CIA was spying on journalists and controlling the mainstream media. In reality, this is exactly what was happening. Now we know that Operation Mockingbird was a CIA operation that spied on members of the Washington Press Corps in 1963, 1972, and 1973. They also used journalists to publish CIA propaganda. Wiretapping of US citizens is against CIA code, but this is what they did. How do we know about this? Mockingbird was uncovered by the Church Committee.
So that's basically it on this clip. I'm gonna play the rest of it. Obviously, if you want to watch the rest of this clip, you go to Rumble and you type in the people's voice and you watch the rest of the clip yourselves. But from here, because based upon that point that he made about how the elites, they don't want basically the masses to know and understand that behind the scenes, everything is being manipulated
Mhm.
by higher powers. So let me get Ephesians. Brothers who already know where I'm going to go. Ephesians 6.
Yeah.
10. Now, I'm going to get this in the NLT
Mm-hmm.
like this. So Ephesians 6 and 10. I'm going to read down to 18. It reads, a final word. Be strong in the Lord Yahweh and in his mighty power.
Mhm.
On all of Yahweh's armor so that you will be able to stand firm against the strategies of the devil.
Mhm.
And what's the whole armor is his word. All right, so you have to have 100% understanding of the Lord's word for you to be able to stand firm against this devil's strategies, man, because he's a devil, right, which means deceiver. It says,
Right.
for we are not fighting against flesh and blood enemies, but against evil rulers and authorities of the unseen world, which is what? The spiritual world, the spiritual realm. All right, the top elites, they are demons, man.
Yep.
That's what they're just vessels that harbor demons.
Mhm.
All right, and furthermore, they have these demons protecting them. All right, so this is a spiritual thing. Okay, so it says, but against evil rulers and authorities of the unseen world, against mighty powers in this dark world, and against evil spirits in the heavenly places. You see, because right now, who's ruling right now? The Lord has given Esau, all right, which is the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan. Right, and the spiritual demon Satan and all his minions, all right, the lesser evil angels, are all ruling right now and having fun and rampant all over the earth. Okay, so it says, therefore, put on. That's why this truth, us prophesying and teaching this truth, is so heavy, because them spirits, they know. Okay, so it says, therefore, put on every piece of Yahweh's armor, so you will be able to resist the enemy in the time of evil. Then after the battle, you will still be standing firm. Right? It says, right, Yahweh said, and he that endureth the end, right? The same shall roughly paraphrasing, be with me in the kingdom of heaven. It says, stand your ground, putting on the belt of truth and the body armor of Yahweh's righteousness. For shoes, put on the peace that comes from that comes from the good news, which is the gospel, so that you will be fully prepared. In addition to all these, hold up the shield of faith to stop the fiery arrows of the devil. You see, which those arrows basically goes into, the way Esau is going to demonize us, man. Right, and then also the missiles, because those are going to be fiery arrows too. What's going to be shooting out. So above everything here that Paul is telling us to have, that's telling the church of Ephesus to have, he said, above all these things, right? He said, in addition to all these, hold up the shield of faith to stop the fiery arrows of the devil. Put on salvation as your helmet, right? Which your helmet goes on your head, so your mind should be meditating upon salvation constantly. And take the sword of the Spirit, which is His word, which is the word of Yahweh. Pray in the Spirit at all times. Pray in the Spirit at all times, on every occasion.
Right.
All right, brothers and sisters, get used to praying for everything. We need to pray for everything, man. A decision. One thing I personally, if I'm making a decision, I pray upon the Lord. I pray to the Lord to, Lord willing, that I'm making the right decision, and if I'm not, that He has mercy on me. So it says, stay alert and be present in your prayers for all believers. Pray in the Spirit at all times and on every occasion. Stay alert and be persistent. Be persistent in your prayers. All believers everywhere.
Right.
Yeah, man. So this is the mindset that we all have to put on and continually put on, because this is the mindset that's gonna, basically protect the elect, which is the wisdom and knowledge. That's gonna keep them stable in that time. That's it for me. Brothers, have any lasting statements or precepts?
Right now. Just the point is just like right now. Psalms 14, and the point is a 2. Reads, the Lord Yahweh looked down from heaven upon the children of men to see if there were any that understand, seek Yahweh. And this is what we're doing right now, trying to seek the Heavenly Father. Trying to like 2/3 Right? We're not trying to make it in this place because there's nothing here for us.
Con. And you know what? We're not, just to add to what you're saying, we're not trying, but we are seeking the Lord, man.
Hmm?
You know? Go ahead.
That was it on that. That was the point.
That was it? Okay, Con.
Powerful stuff. Brother, if you, young Hilda, if you could just read this precept, because we basically went into the final phase in regards to how wisdom is going to get the elect out of here, and this one precept in excuse me, if you could just one precept, if you could read it, Wisdom of Solomon, the 6th chapter, and the verse is, excuse me, I have it, my page just moved out. Yeah, 6 and yeah, 1 second. 15, yeah, 11, right there. Yeah, select it. It's 14 and 15, but the point is in the 15th verse, and that's it. Wisdom, yeah.
So this is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, verse 14. It says, "Whoso seeketh her early shall have no great travail."
Right. Now, this great travail here, just wanted to add real quick. That's going into actually the exemption from judgment ultimately. The great travail. Okay. It's going into that. So you're going to get protection, right? The whole armor. And so that the great travail shall not come upon you. In other words, the exemption from judgment.
Yeah, because that's right. That's right. Because Jacob's trouble is just for it's actually for the wicked. The day of the Lord is for the wicked. It's not for the hopeful elect.
Mm-hmm.
So going on, it says, "For he shall find her sitting at his doors."
That's comforting. Oh, praises to Yahweh Shai. Go ahead. That's it. Simply put.
Yeah. To think, therefore, upon her is perfection of wisdom, and whoso watches for her shall quickly be without care. Yep. And what does that mean? Basically means when your mind is focused on the word of the Lord and you're meditating on the Lord, he's going to take care of your necessities.
That's right.
You're not going to be found wanting, right? Because a lot of men that have come into this truth, like Yahushua gave the parable of the sower, right? And the ground, and the sower and the seed. Basically, it says that some of the seeds that were sowed into the ground, it's men that allow the cares of this life to choke the word. So what does that mean, choking the word? It means teaching the truth. Right? And once you stop teaching the truth, right, it's usually what gets in the way of that is the cares of this world.
Yeah.
You know, so you got to put those cares upon Yahweh Bashim El Shai. Yeah. All right, and stay diligent in pushing his word, man, and teaching his truth. Because at the end of the day, there's gonna come a day real quick and real soon where we're gonna be cut off from all those cares. We're gonna be cut off from the cares of this world completely.
Right.
That's right.
All right. So it's best to do that now than to try to do it later. Was that it on that?
That's it. The whole chapter is beautiful, but that's the point. Right there, perfection. You know, that's excuse me, wisdom's desire for the elect. Yeah.
Shaman, you got something? Or that's it?
Oh yeah, one last one. It just came when you read that one.
Okay, beautiful.
Bring it out.
Isaiah 26, verse 3.
Here we go.
And it reads, Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusteth in thee. Right? Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding will be the stability in the times. Right? our minds won't be scatterbrained out there. We won't be unsure. We'll have a sound mind, and we'll be stayed on the Lord.
Calm. That's
All
right.
right. That's right. Great.
That's it on that.
Oh,
Beautiful. All right, so that's it for today's lesson. All right, Lord willing, this was edifying to the whole full elect. All right, of the nation of Israel. We're gonna close by giving all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh.
Bashem.
All right, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and have taught us this word in truth and sincerity. And peace and mercy to the whole full elect. All right, that also push this word in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth, starting with the 144,000, as well as your little mountain sisters that believe. Peace and mercy to you and your household. All right, and shalom to the brothers on the comment board. Shabbat shalom to the brothers on the comment board. The water for participating and putting up precepts. All right, we're gonna say a ball.
By the ball.
And Lord win to the next live lesson. We say Shabbat shalom to the whole full elect.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. The hope of that, too.